A challenge was laid out by Dave Reed at the ECWA Pro Wrestling Academy for a match against Josh Adams. A match that, quite frankly, I don't understand why Dave Reed wants it. I don't know that Dave really expected Josh to show up tonight, but he did, and his guns are ready for bear.
Dave Reed, man, he wants to make a statement.
So what just happened?
I don't know.
Well,
did he not come out?
Somebody just came out and then walked right back. There he goes. There we go.
I had no idea Dave Reed was a loser. And by the way, conspicuous by her absence, Miss Alicia. She left with Robbie Radke at the Pro Wrestling Academy a couple weeks ago. Dave Reed hasn't seen her since.
So, I don't get it. Is he wearing what jersey is he wearing?
That's a Cowboys Dennis Bryant jersey.
Right, that's what I thought it was, the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Did they recently beat the Eagles or something?
No. Just Philadelphia fans don't like the Cowboys.
I don't watch basketball. I gotta give him props for the Sade, the smooth operator here.
Yes.
Practicing Rick Rude.
Well, Anthony, you may not be familiar with Dave Reed, but he is one of the more smooth wrestlers here in the company. Probably a year and a little change. He's been...
I mean, if you want to get somebody, a crowd to not like you, this guy checked off. Yeah, he checked off the #1 box.
Well, the first one will be beat Phil Sly. Wait a minute. But if you can't beat Phil Sly, put on a Cowboys jersey. And yes, Josh Adams is here.
Straight out of Rocky IV.
Mr. Flat Grab.
Now, I have to, in this match, I have to root for Josh Adams because I love this song.
I think most of the arena will be rooting for Josh Adams. That's got to be a change for him. Phil, have you knocked Bev in the flat crowd this week?
She gets it every night. Josh Adams, 115% pure intensity. This guy, he showed up at the academy a few weeks ago, put the students through some kind of training regimen. The cheese quit. He couldn't handle it.
I know.
This guy lives, eats, breathes professional wrestling. Loves to condition himself.
But this will truly be a battle of two of the young guns here in the ECWA. And a match I'm very much looking forward to. I'm so glad that Josh Adams was able to make it here tonight.
Well, you know, originally it was going to be Josh Adams and Frankie Picard taking on the Classics.
Well, they wanted to issue that challenge.
They also did it probably back in July at the Academy. They've been dying for their shot, but due to conflicting schedules, Frankie Picard couldn't show up. Sometimes Josh Adams couldn't show up. So, needless to say, we'll probably never see that match happen. But anyway, Dave Reed wants to make a statement here. Been calling out Josh Adams ever since last Thursday night at the Academy. Josh Adams answered the call, and right now Dave Reed's taking it to Josh Adams.
Dave Reed's ever the aggressor, and he gives chase, but Josh Adams responds in turn.
There's the intensity I was talking about.
He's got those eyes, those crazy eyes. Beautiful scissor kick. He looks like a crazy person. He does.
What's interesting to me is that Josh Adams comes out and, you know, he's kind of, level-headed. Came out, he seemed kind of like, all right, yeah, I can beat this guy. A little confident, but nothing over the top. And then he gets in the ring, starting off slow, and then all of a sudden, like, snaps. And he just snapped. That intensity came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's definitely like a switch going on with him. I've known Josh Adams for a long time, probably since he first started, back in the old Force One days in Hamilton and Egg Harbor, New Jersey. And to see him progress over the years, he's just getting more crazier, it seems like, as you said, when he comes out.
I mean, he was slamming his head up against the turnbuckle.
It's like nothing affects him.
If Dave Reed were smart, he would try... What's that? Oh, okay. My apologies, gentlemen. If Dave Reed were smart here, I think he wants to try and slow this match down. Work more at his pace. And that's going to be very tough to do against Josh Adams because he's a guy, he's so cerebral. He's got to control everything all the time.
And also, Josh Adams is a submission specialist. He can beat you in any kind of way, not just with a flat crab, as we saw many times. But if he happens to lock that in to Dave Reed, it's almost a guaranteed victory for Josh Adams.
Now, what's going on with Josh Adams now? I didn't see Dave Reed hit him. I mean, unless he was just trying to get the referee on his side there.
I think he kind of clubbed him there when Josh Adams was distracted. Right now, Dave Reed, he's all about, targeting the face, the neck, the whole upper body, really, but especially everything above the neck. Josh Adams does get the boots up.
See, but as you guys mentioned earlier, Dave Reed is more calculated, taking his time, power. He has to control everything. He gets in there. Josh Adams all over the place. Dave Reed kind of needs to grab him, slow him down, and that's what he's doing now. And he goes for the power. He goes for the knocking out. Then that's what he's got to do. He's got to knock out the stamina of Josh Adams.
Yes, exactly, and he seems to be doing that pretty effectively. Phil, if you look back at some of the matches that Dave Reed hasn't won over the last year and a half, there are matches where Dave Reed lost control.
Well, sure, and he also had Miss Alicia out there to distract him.
Well, that's true. Conspicuous by her absence, and I believe this is the first match, minus the last week's showcase,
that she wasn't at ringside.
Right, that she wasn't at ringside for him.
So who knows, this could possibly hurt him or help him.
Snapmare by Dave Reed.
Oh, Chico, you never saw this.
You're in for a treat.
Electrifying move in ECWA history right here.
Well, now the setup looks pretty familiar. Good aim there. Hit the referee right where he wanted to.
He's going to hit Josh Adams right where he wants to as well. The People's Chin Lock, applied with precision.
Blinded by the flash bulbs here.
That's amazing.
If you think about Dave Reed, though, Phil, I mean, looking back on the last couple of years, looking back on the last 50 years, really, he's a throwback to so many different types of power, ground and pound type of guys that we've had in control in that mid-card tier there, He reminds me, for example, of, like, Mozart Fontaine. You would remember him well.
Yes, I believe so. Actually, he may have been right before I came in, but I'm very familiar with the name in the ECWA history.
I totally forgot him.
By the way, that was a very nice fisherman suplex there. I mean, and it takes a lot of power to pick up somebody like Dave Reed for someone like Josh Adams. And he was able to do it. It looked like he did it all power, too.
Never to be underestimated, that's for sure. Josh has to get out of that corner. He is in a bad way as long as Dave Reed is able to control it there. Knife-edge chops, I'm feeling them myself.
I'll tell you, with all the power moves that Dave Reed is hitting Josh Adams with, every once in a while Adams comes back with that little pop.
Yes.
That little pop of stamina when you think that's just about it. That last little bit, like right there.
Well, that's one thing we've all learned about Josh. As he hits the flat crab, Dave Reed cannot get to the ropes, and that's it. Experience right there, and Josh Adams continues the momentum. You got to think when Frankie Picard comes back, those two will be right at the top of the list in terms of getting tag team title opportunities.
There's a couple of people in the ECWA that need to make sure that they're 100% confident that they can beat whoever they challenge. Because it already happened with the Classics, and it just happened with Dave Reed. where, as Phil just said, he issued a challenge to Josh Adams and came out.